Okay. Um, Again, good evening, everyone. We're going to get started here. Uh, Bear with me for the first couple of minutes as I try and go through the presentation, as well as make sure everybody that's in the waiting room is in the meeting. So if I am bouncing around a little bit, just that's why. Um, so I hope everyone enjoyed their time on the field this week. Competition night on Monday. Kids always enjoy a good competition night, um, especially in the heat. And today, I know the Wednesday sessions have been really good the last couple of weeks. So I'm sure today I wasn't out there today, but I'm sure they were just as good as always. So as we get started, please keep yourself on mute. We'll have a chance to ask any questions at the end. We've got a bit of information to get through, a couple slides. So hopefully anything that you want to ask is on the slides. But obviously there might be one or two things that you need clarification on. So just wait till the end, and we'll open it up for everybody as usual. Uh, Coach Graham, Coach Fro, and Coach Scott are on the meeting or will be once they're at home. So they're listening in, and they're obviously, as we go through here, they're obviously really important to all the info that we're about to throw out at all of you. So hopefully it doesn't take up too much of your time. I know we've scheduled an hour, but I'll try rush through it as much as we can. All of this will be sent out. As you can see, it's been recorded. So we'll get this out to everybody. And there's a ton of information on our website as well on the travel pages. So here's our agenda for the evening. We'll go through some of the structures. I've listed 2016 there only because that is the majority of what the information will be about. But we'll as we go through it, you'll see it expands slightly. We'll go through some uniforms and the fees. We'll give you a reminder of the club pathway and the development framework that we put in place, the age group objectives that we're looking for in our Rising U9s, some of the training session methodology that will be on that the coach will put on the field for the kids during all the sessions. Then we'll go through some important dates and what a week would look like for your player going into next year, and then what we look like on game day, and then some other important reminders towards the end. So just our Loudon Soccer mission statement is developing champions for life, right? It's not just about producing soccer players right now. It's to develop soccer players, coaches, teams with strong character, committed to achievement on the field and at home and in the community as well. Our core values: fun, fairness, stewardship, integrity, and teamwork. Hopefully, if you've been within the U8 Academy program for the last year, you've seen all of that, and you've your kids understand what not all the words exactly mean, but in general what we're looking for within the program, and as well as the players that have joined us recently. So our technical staff, we're going to start here because we have a broad technical staff that works on our travel side. We are lucky to have a lot of those names within the U8 Academy program and within the younger age groups of the club. So I am the director of player development. I oversee everything from U9 to U12 on the travel side, as well as the U8 Academy currently, together with the entire recreational program. Graham Jones is the assistant director of player development going into the new season. So he'll be in the office with me, and we work closely together currently, and we'll work even closer together as we move forward. Scott Mitchell comes in as the head of foundation phase, which I'll explain exactly what that means. Head of foundation phase curriculum. So all the good stuff that your players are learning currently, Scott has put that all in place, and as well as he will take over the U8 Academy going into the new season along with the help of Graham, and then I'll still oversee the entire structure of the program. And then Fro comes in as the U9 and U10 boys age group lead. He recently joined us. He's a great addition. We've got a ton of compliments from the players and families that are in his group. So we were excited to get him, and obviously the players and families are excited to have him. And Henry Fuentes, who's also within the program, he's not on the call today because he won't be directly in the U9 as the lead coach in the age group with the girls, but he oversees the girls age group in the U9s and 10s, and then obviously within the U8 Academy program is a big part of it. So here's what we look like as a whole. On the girls' side, Coach Graham will be the head coach of the girls team, so that we have a spirit team. Freedom will be with Coach Henry. Wave will be Coach Drooper, and Thorns will be with Coach Aaron. As you can see, all four of those coaches are within the U9s and 10s, so they are really good at what they do with those younger age groups, and we're lucky to have three of those coaches within the U8 Academy program. So they work closely with the players for 1 to 2 years, depending on when you joined us. So they know the players and will be around the players for up to 4 years if we continue down the structure. So we're excited for those groups and players to be able to have great coaches like we do on the girls' side. On the boys' side, the U9 2016's coach will be Coach Fro in Madrid, in Bayern with Coach Scott, City with Coach Robert, Inter with Coach Tony, Ajax with Coach Irfan, and Juventus with Coach Nico. So again, two familiar faces within the boys' side. Coach Robert is around a lot. He doesn't get on the field. His teams train on a Monday, so he's not able to be out at U8s on a regular basis, but he has been around. And then we're adding two really good new coaches into the age group as well at the U9s. But as you can see, again, there's a lot of continuity within the boys' side as well. With Coach Phil with the U10s, he's staying with his current team and just moving up with them, but he's within the structure as well. You'll notice there, Coach Scott is listed as the U9 with the 2017 birth year. Right now, our plan is definitely to have a boys U8 academy team like we do this year. If you'll see Coach Graham has the girls team, and Coach Pat has the boys team who train kind of next to us, and we scrimmage and send players over there every now and then. Right now, the plan is to have a boys team for the entire season, for the 2024-25 season. The girls will be dependent on the quality of player that signs up for the player placement, and then the quality of player that accepts the spot. What we ran into this year was that we offered 11 players a spot on the team, and only 6 players accepted because of the age, the commitment, and the players wanted to stay within the U8 Academy for an extra season. What ended up happening was us needing to supplement Coach Graham's current team with players from that didn't make one of the 4 current travel teams. So the level drops down a little bit, and it landed up that 2 of the players that didn't make a team and then were offered that spot kind of dropped out in the middle of the year anyway. So we landed up struggling to form a team. We're able to supplement that with some of the girls in the U8 Academy program right now that have played up and with the team and train up with the team. So we're lucky there, but we want to make sure that it's the right environment and the right structure for the girls as well as the boys. So both will be dependent on the players and the acceptances that we receive. There will definitely be a girls team in the spring. And once we get closer to that time for those 2017s, we'll start to have a similar meeting like this, so we can go through some things with everybody. So again, there's just those familiar faces. Sometimes they stand. Coach Pro's nice and close, and he's nice and loud, so everybody can see him. But Coach Graham's on the other side of the field sometimes, so that's what he. There's Coach Graham's pretty face, and Coach Scott, and as you can see, we everybody's licensed coach. Everybody's within the structure of our technical staff. So we are really lucky to have the quality people and coaches within our structure for our U9s and 10s. It's not very often that from top to bottom you get quality people and coaches like we do. I don't think any other club around us can come close to our coaching staff from top to bottom. And we are very lucky to have people within our age groups that are really good at what they do. So for the player placement sessions, Loudoun Soccer staff will oversee all of the placements. It will be led by the head coach in each age group, together with the U8 Academy staff, and then with my oversight and John O'Hara, who is our technical director. We will oversee all the player placements for each age group, but it'll be up to each head coach within the age group to run the sessions together with their coaching staff, as well as some other familiar faces, like Coach Phil will be around, Coach Pat will be around, and some other people that have filled in on some of the game days, like against VSA when we need some extra coaches. We'll have some of our travel staff out and evaluating the players. Families must pre-register for the open sessions. So as you may or may not know, we're moving to Playmetrics, which is will be much more functional for everybody. Right now, we have kind of 3 different systems where we run the club through. One for collecting registrations, one for all the communication like TeamSnap, and then another one that we put our fields and facilities into. So it's Playmetrics is everything in one place. So it's a lot better for our staff and our coaches, but it is a lot easier for families as well, because everything can be done through the app on your phone. So if you are not registered for the sessions on May 18th, your player will not be selected because they are not in the system and not eligible. So please go in and register. We will send probably 2 more reminders. We'll send a reminder obviously tomorrow when we send all of this out. But if you know that you haven't registered yet, please go in and do it. If you're questioning it, go in and just check your account. And if you don't remember or don't know, then contact our travel staff at travelinfo@loudonsoccer.com or just info@loudonsoccer.com, and one of the program administrators will be able to help you, and they'll pass it on to the managers of our travel program. There is new player placement sessions every year for our travel program, so it's not really a reset, but it is a chance for us to move players around if we need to, and it allows players from the outside to come in. Right now, we're looking at about over 100 boys that are currently registered. So player placement being 2 weeks away, I foresee the number getting to about 120. If you compare that to what we currently have in the age group, we have 62 players within our boys age group. Girls were at about 65 as of this morning, I believe. And again, with 2 weeks to go, I see that number getting up to about 80. So and currently there are 43 girls within the program. So obviously people are interested in Loudoun Soccer. People want to come to Loudoun Soccer because of our track record. So make sure that your child is registered and has the opportunity. If you are within the U8 Academy program, you are obviously a step ahead of everybody. We feel, because the coaches know you, they know your child, and your child has been coached by some really, really good people over the last couple weeks and leading up to the player placement. So your child is better than probably the average recreational player or player from the outside. At least we think so. And players are selected by ability. So when we went through those lists, Madrid, on the boys' side, Madrid is our top team, Bayern is the second team, City is our third team, and so on. On the girls' side, Spirit is our top team, Freedom is our second team, and then so on, Wave, and then Thorns. And our U8 Academy teams will be known as Celtic on the boys' side, and Rain on the girls' side. For player placement, it'll be on the 18th and 19th of May. Yes, you are supposed to be at both, so that we can make sure that your child is placed correctly. Maybe a new player has a bad day on Saturday when your child's there, but on Sunday they have the tryout of their life, and we just have to go on our notes, and we aren't able to compare them in person. So make sure your child is at both sessions. If you cannot be at both sessions, contact Coach Fro or Coach Graham, and they will make a note. But I highly encourage you to make sure your child is at both sessions. Some of the fees, as everybody knows, I am a stickler for uniforms. So Adidas is our uniform provider, and Soccer Post, it goes through Soccer Post as our vendor. Your club fee is $2,400 for the entire year. That goes to coach's salary, administrative costs, winter training, winter age group play, training academy, which takes place on Wednesdays, league fees, membership fees, state fees, national fees, and referee fees. The fee does not include tournaments, team equipment like a canopy or a bench, and your child's uniform. Now, lucky for you, we are on a 2-year cycle, and next year will be year 2 of that cycle. So that nice U8 Academy uniform that you ordered in February or last year in July, that is still eligible to be worn. There will be additional items that you will need to purchase, like the white shirt, the black training shirt, and red socks and white socks. Those are non-negotiable. Those are mandatory items that you will need to purchase, but you will not need to purchase the entire uniform. And once your child is selected, all this information will be sent out by our travel program managers. So as we go into our club structure and our development, our recreational program is the base and where our biggest numbers are. The U8 Academy falls into the recreational program, but as I mentioned at the beginning of the season, when we went through that that information meeting, we treat those players like travel players and coach them like travel players. And we play in 3 main leagues within our travel program. NCSL, which is where all our U9s will play. In that league, there are multiple divisions, many opponents, many clubs, and that's where all of our U9s play. We play in EDP with maybe some of our U11s and U12s, which doesn't matter for your child just yet. And then as they get a little bit older, into ECNL Regional League, which is the national competition that our elite programs from U13 and above play in, and our second teams play in that league from U13 and up. Our top U11s and U12s play in the regional league within the structure, because there is no national program for those age groups. But as you can see, we start at 2 years old and go up right up until seniors in high school, and then in the summer we have an adult college eligible players come back and play in the team as well. So we have levels for all players within the club. So as players move into the U9 and the travel program, they're still in Foundation 2, so it's still the basic understanding of the game, heavy focus on technique and what needs to be done to make sure that each player is getting better and more comfortable on the ball. We do things maybe a little bit differently than others, but we feel that our methods work, and I think we can see that during the games on Saturday mornings, whether we're playing against ourselves or whether we're playing against other teams. But we're still in the same growth phase within the club, and so nothing changes from an on-field point of view. The same points will be hit, just the expectations might be a little bit higher now because the players are a year older. They've become more accustomed to the message, so the expectations will be slightly different than what is in the U8 Academy. Here's just a graphic of all the players, all the universities that we have sent players to that have come through our program. You can see there's some top universities on there. So we trust our method. We think that what we do is working. We don't think that there are many, if any, clubs in our area that can produce a graphic like this with the number of big universities and good universities, soccer universities and soccer programs that our players are currently playing for. So we're obviously proud of that, but trust the process of what your child will go through from U9, and hopefully they stay with us till they leave and go to college, and hopefully we can get them into a good college and playing soccer. But obviously, we want everybody to enjoy themselves first and foremost. So, just some characteristics that we're looking for from our players for the next couple of weeks as we move into the player placement. We're not just looking for the best player. You have to be a good human. Number one, these are in order. Of what we're looking for. You have to be able to put the team first. You have to have a growth mindset, be coachable, make sure you're listening, and want to get better. There's got to be obviously a game understanding, and if you have all of those, then the technique is easy to coach because your child is listening, paying attention, and looking to learn and get better. And again, we have some of the best staff around. Same with our coaches. We're looking for good humans and people that put the team first, just like we do with our players. We want a growth mindset from our coaches as well. We want them to be lifelong learners and always making sure they are trying to get better at what they're doing, whether that means doing their licensing, which is just the equivalent of doing a degree at college. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of energy to keep getting better. And we have some really good people. Again, I know I've said that a lot, but we have some really good people that want to keep getting better to make sure that your child is succeeding on the field. We want them obviously to have a game IQ, a knowledge of the game, whether it's in game or trying to coach it on the training field. And we want them to be as professional as possible, obviously, just like in everything that we do. Some of the age group specific objectives that we're looking for within the Rising U9s, we will hit heavily on the technical objectives and the character objectives. The physical objectives will come as players get older. We don't just pick the biggest, fastest, strongest players to make our top team. Some clubs do, and then their philosophy is to try and turn them into good soccer players. We don't mind picking smaller kids who are technically sound and who have good character, so that they can learn. We can teach them how to be a little bit better. And we will teach them game concepts. You can see there's training days when we're using multiple goals. We're using big goals and small goals. We're using 2 big goals. We change up what we do. That keeps the players thinking, keeps them learning, and keeps them engaged with what the message is. So those are the main objectives. And these 4 main objectives run from our U8 academy right up into our top U19 teams that play on the national platform. These are universal. The message is just slightly different as players get older, than obviously what they are when they are in the U8 academy. Some of the technical objectives we'll hit on ball mastery. We don't always believe on just one player with one ball. That doesn't always teach you how to be better. It can teach you how to maybe do the move, but you have no idea how to do it with an opponent. So we will do that in some capacity throughout training. But our four main topics of training will be some kind of dribbling, passing, receiving, ball striking, or finishing within the rising U9s. Again, this is from top to bottom, from our youngest to our oldest players, lowest level to highest level. These are all, again, they just get taught slightly differently at different stages and age groups. Some of the game concepts, we play small group games, where that's 1v1, 2v1, some progression games where you're able to add players into the game as a reward, or maybe you lose a player for giving the ball away in a moment to make it a little bit more difficult. We play unbalancing games where we're trying to, if we're defending or attacking, and we're trying to create a 1 versus 2 player situation, so that players are still learning, looking for options, trying to get better, and making things more difficult. It's very easy to play when things are easy. It's not so difficult when they it's not so easy when things get a little difficult. We will play finishing games, and all of that. We hope that all the players get some kind of game intelligence, and their game intelligence grows as we hit on all those points. So this is what a week would look like. This is just a sample, going off of what I know Coach Fro's current schedule is. So Tuesdays, the players will be on the field with team training. It'll probably be 5 o'clock for the U9s. Training may vary from Loudon Soccer Park, Boland Park, which is behind Segra, and Hanson. Those are our 3 main sites that we use for the travel program. Sessions are 75 minutes, and Coach Fro will then go back to back with his U9 and 10 players. Wednesdays, for a 6-week period. I don't have the exact dates yet, but they'll be shared once teams are selected and all the info is put in place. We have training academy where it's always at Loudon Soccer Park, where our U9 and 10 boys and girls will train at the same time at the same facility for an hour. It may be with their current coach, or it may be with somebody different. Knowing that Coach Fro is in the U8 academy, it'll probably be with somebody different. But that's just a chance to work on some technical skills. It's a 6-week program, 5 weeks of technical skills and topics that each week will go through, and each team will go through. And then week 6 is a nice big competition, like a World Cup, where everybody gets mixed up within the age group, and we play for winners with prizes. And then Thursday is age group training, where all the U9 boys will train at the same place. Right now we do that at Hanson Park, and again that's 75 minutes. Friday's off, and then there's 2 games listed there that probably only happens once a season, maybe twice if you're unlucky, but NCSL is a Sunday league, and games can start as early as 8 a.m. And I think the last game, depending on light and where you're playing, could start at about 6 p.m. So times will vary. It's not as uniform as what it currently is within the U8 program, and there'll be some traveling as well, given the name travel program. But once teams are selected, and coaches have their meetings, their post-player placement meetings with their teams, they will run through the schedule. The schedule varies by coach, except for those. Each team will train either Monday or Tuesday. They will train then Wednesdays for that 6-week period, and then everybody will train on Thursdays, and then play on Sundays. So just a broad overview of the next year. So right now, spring 24, we're in May and going into our team selections in 2 weeks' time, and then players continue to play in their current program. There will be a post-player placement meeting with each team, with your head coach, probably after Memorial Day, once they are done with their current team and everything that goes on with that. We go into the summer where there'll be some time off, probably about 6 weeks total, give or take a little bit, but we have supplemental programs within that time. In August, everybody comes back to the field, especially the top 2 teams, because their tournaments usually happen a little bit earlier. So towards the end of August, whereas some of the lower teams, like from team number 4, 5, and 6, their tournaments and the caliber of tournaments usually happens towards September. So our top teams start training a little bit sooner in the summer. So training begins. That'll be dependent on the coach. Where it takes place will be dependent on the schedule and the number of teams that ask for certain days. And then September, October, November, we go into the NCSL season with TA for a 6-week period, like I mentioned, and 9 league games usually. And then November is normally a big tournament week, big tournament month for everybody. Within the U9s, all teams will play in 4 tournaments. How the coach decides to split that up is up to them, whether they decide on their own or they ask for team feedback. So it could be 0 in the fall and 4 in the spring. Probably won't happen like that. Whether it's 1 and 3 or 3 and 1 or 2 and 2, that will depend on each coach. Normally, obviously, everybody breaks it up usually, but it'll depend on what tournaments each coach decides to go and do. As we hit into then all of December is off, and as we come back in January, we usually start the first Sunday of the new year will be indoor training, and some teams will start playing outside as well. Usually at this age, around the middle of February, middle of January, some teams will get on. Again, it will be dependent on the tournament schedule. For instance, there's a big tournament in Arlington that takes place towards the middle to end of February. That is usually for our top 2 teams, just because of the caliber of teams that play. So they will usually start a little bit sooner in that winter period. And then March is a big tournament month again, where there is a variety of tournaments. So everybody else can kind of start a little bit later. Not that it's much warmer towards the end of February than it is in the beginning of January, but it makes a little bit of difference when you're only outside for 4 weeks instead of 6 or 7. Tournaments. Then as we get into March, we'll get into proper team training again when the park sites open, which is usually I think the 3rd Monday of March, and that's when everything will start up again. We go into team training and the tournament probably, and then April, May, and June is our league games, and we hit then player placement again for that should say 2025-26. I'll make sure I update that. And usually this Memorial Day is a big tournament weekend, but again, coaches will fill you in on what their preference is for which tournament they will attend. So now we're on the field as we're getting on. Every game and every session, there's 4 moments within the soccer world: attacking, defending, transition to attack, and transition to defend. So everything at this age group, there will be lots and lots of transition moments, which is just us giving the ball away and trying to get it back, or the other team having the ball and us, or vice versa. So everything is up and down, lots of head turning, just like it is in the U8 program when the ball gets turned over a lot. Next year will just be on a bigger field, so you have a little bit further to watch and your kid to run. So within those moments, as we have the ball, we're looking to progress down the field, right? By passing and receiving, by keeping the ball, or by breaking the lines. That's just from getting us from our goalkeeper to the front as quick as possible and breaking lines through the midfield. We're trying to unbalance by dribbling, running with the ball, and combining, and then we're finishing by ball striking and breakaways. So these are the topics that coaches will hit throughout the year. All of our teams from our U9s, from our U8s, all the way up to our U19s, all run through the same topic cycle. So we're all, like this week, for example, we're working on playing out of the back from our goalkeeper. Every single team within our club is doing that and has a session plan idea. Whether coaches decide to use the exact session plan or not will be dependent on their group, but everybody within our club uses the same topic for each week. We work on 2-week cycles, so there's progression, there's understanding of what we're trying to achieve, and it's really important for everybody. And again, Coach Scott's a big part of that, putting all that together for the U8 Academy, but all the coaches that are listed, Coach Fro, Coach Graham, are sitting in on those meetings so that they have an understanding of, and Coach Henry as well, of what needs to be done. When the other team has the ball, we're trying to deny them playing forward. We want to press to win the ball back. You'll hear that a lot this weekend from VSA, who we're going to play. It's supporting players who are trying to win the ball back, so a second defender, and then trying to just make the field as small as possible and as compact as possible. So here's what we look like: the attacking third, middle third, defensive third. I'm going to skip through these a little bit. The coaches will hit on this a little bit more as we go into their meetings. But there's obviously three areas of the field, and each area just represents what we're trying to do, whether it's in attack or defense. We have a primary shape and formation and a secondary formation that we're trying to hit and get the players to understand. It resembles a big diamond, which is why we hit on the diamond a lot when we're playing our games. So one defender, one goalkeeper, two defenders, three midfielders, one striker is our primary formation. Everything's about technique. We also have a secondary formation where we have one goalkeeper, three in the back, one midfield, and two strikers, and still everything on technique. Now, there's a lot of info there. Travel program can become expensive, or maybe your child doesn't make a team. There are options for everybody. We have a rec program of nearly 7,000 players, Rec 1 program with over 1,000 players. Our third graders, we have two different programs, Challenge and Rec 2, that they may be eligible for. So there are options. So just because your child doesn't make one of the teams, or you decide that it's not for them right now, you have options to stay within Loudoun Soccer and continue. And sometimes just because you didn't make it as a U9, or you decided not to go down that road right now, doesn't mean that you can't be a travel player in the future. Players of this age grow at different rates. They become better at different things at different rates. So obviously not everyone's going to be on the same path, which is a good thing. So there are options for everybody. So some of the contacts within the club. Again, here Coach Fro will be your lead on the boys' side. Coach Henry is the lead on the girls' side, but obviously Coach Graham is the head coach for the girls, rising U9s. Coach Royce Brody, who unfortunately we don't get to see a lot on the field. He used to be part of the U8 Academy. He now does some other some of the on-field stuff for us on Wednesday, so he's unable to be around. But he's a great resource if you need to, and obviously myself as well. So this is the chain of command. If you ever need it, contact your coach first, then go to the head coach within the age group. If they can't sort anything out and fix anything for you, then go to the director of coaching. If he can't fix it right there, then you can come to me, or if we need to go higher, we can go a little bit higher as well. But there's some great resources there for everybody. Don't ask them about player placement and fees and everything that's on the website, or you can just email travelinfo@loudonsoccer.com, because if you ask them, they're going to ask me, and I'm going to then just forward that email straight to our travel program managers, who are going to respond to you anyway. So just go directly to our travel program managers if it's anything admin related right now. But these are the contacts once we are in season, and you need anything sorted out. These are the people to be in touch with. Okay, that was as always, I spoke a little bit longer than I wanted to. I think I got caught up in the beginning. Looks like Coach Graham's about to fall asleep over there. Sorry. All good. Okay. Any questions? There's a lot of info there to unpack. Obviously, I will send this out. I'll send out the recording. There's a ton of info on the website as well. We have 2 program managers that are available to help. But we got about 16 minutes left. Any questions?
Yes, I have a question. I raised my hand, Oksana here. Thank you so much for this presentation. Quick question. How far are the tournaments in terms of distance, and are the tournaments stay to play?
Is it one night?
One night and things like
Overnight.
that. Overnight. Thank you.
It depends on which team your child makes and where the coach decides to take them. There are different options, so I can't give you an exact answer right now. But are there possibilities to travel? Yes. Are there possibilities that all your tournaments will be local? Yes. But I can't give you an exact answer. Just if you have a question, just unmute yourself and let's go ahead.
Maybe you mentioned that
3 pages of
Coach, is there an estimate on how much the fees are for tournaments?
again, it varies. My U9s currently are playing in a tournament Memorial Day, and it costs 650. They also played in a tournament in November, and it costs 950. So tournaments will depend on the coach, the fees, but the team fee is normally about $200 to $300 additional.
Okay. Hey, Coach. Thank you. That was a great presentation. So I have a question for the tournament. I think you said that the games could happen on Sundays. Sundays are, I think, the 7th day, the Sabbath day, which will be a religious day for most parents and kids, at least to communicate with God. I don't know, maybe is that always the case for this program? The games are always on Sunday?
Yeah, always on Sunday.
Is that early, or in the morning or in the afternoon? In most cases.
Yeah, like I mentioned, games can take place as early as 8 a.m. or as late as 6 p.m. It depends. I wish we could give you an answer. I'm sure all the coaches wish that they had a uniform schedule, but if you ask all of us how many miles we travel on a Sunday, you'd be surprised, because of the amount of time we spend driving back and forth. So yeah, if you are religious, my honest answer is probably travel soccer is not for your family. If I'm going to be honest with you.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe you mentioned that, coach, but I was late. So, like, is there a date where the names are released for U9 or?
What do you mean the names? The names of the coaches?
No, like like selection of players. It's like, are they gonna do tryouts or how is it gonna work?
Yeah. Uh, but you must have missed the whole beginning of the presentation. Yeah. Player
Yes.
placement is on the 18th and 19th of May. I've also I think it's been in every newsletter for the last month. It's been in, I've sent out I've sent out that information before. It's on the website. So yeah, you'll need to sign your player up and hopefully they make a team.
Thank you.
Okay.
Can you just clarify for the 2017, the U8 Academy team? Will they?
I'm sorry, Nicolette. I'm sorry, Nicolette. Jitna, I don't. Can you please stop unmuting yourself? We would appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sorry, go ahead, Nicolette.
Oh, you're fine. Can you just quickly clarify? I know you said they attend the tryouts. Are they technically part of the travel program, and will they pay the travel fee? And then, or are they just practicing with the academy? Will they have separate games, separate practices, and pay the travel fee, or are they just connected with the U8 Academy still?
Their fee is different. That information will be sent out to all 2017s once it's finalized, and we have an idea of the number of players that will be attending. But the fee is slightly reduced for different reasons. But we'll send that info out before May 18th. But they will be their own separate travel team.
Okay, thank you so much.
Follow up on that same question. So for 2017, your kids, they do tryouts on the 18th and the 19th. Will they be able to play up on U9 if they get selected, or do they just stay on U8 because of their birth date?
They stay in the U8. We currently don't feel like we have any players that will be in the to be eligible to play up. You must be in the top 5 of the player pool within the depth chart, and we don't think we have any of those currently. So we will not have probably any play ups. And we don't see a scenario and a reason to have players playing up to play on a lower level team. So those players would either make the team or they would go back into the U8's academy program.
Hi, I had a question. Sorry. After the tryouts on the 18th and 19th, and then the player gets an email saying you've been placed, does it say which team they'll be placed on? And sorry if I missed that.
You'll be coach. You'll get a phone call from the coach of the team, so you'll know which team you're on.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I have a follow-up question on the 2017s. Are they also going to follow that Tuesday, Thursday schedule? And I'm assuming they're also not going to have as heavy of a schedule as the 16s and above, right? For travel and tournaments.
They will definitely train on Thursdays. It will be Monday or Tuesday. It will be dependent on the coach. But knowing that Scott is the coach of the boys team, it'll probably happen on Mondays with that training session, just like it does now, and part of the U8s, but part of the setup. But they'll be separated. And they're also eligible for TA on Wednesdays and still play 9 games. The major difference is they only play in 2 tournaments in the year, not 4.
Thank you.
Anyone else? There's a hand raised. You don't have a name on your profile, so I don't know what to call you, unfortunately. iPhone. Guess not. Okay, so thanks everybody. I appreciate your time. We will get this uploaded onto our page and get it out to everybody tomorrow with the recording and the slides. Again, if you have any questions, go through the website, take a look, or email travelinfo@downsoccer.com, or sign your kids up, because I will start harassing everybody over the next 2 weeks about why your child is not registered. So if you have no interest in being a travel player next year, that is totally fine. Just maybe let me know so I can remove you off those coaches lists, so they can plan accordingly. We won't ask any follow-up questions. Again, travel's not for everybody, but just let us know. But make sure you are signed up if your child wants to play or have the opportunity to play. So big weekend this weekend. We're at home against VSA, so lots of fun games again. Lots of round robins. I know the kids love playing against somebody else. The coaches love it too. So we're looking forward to it, and we will see everybody nice and early on Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your evening, everybody.